Hey there, fellow skeptics. Welcome to Waffle Ladders, where today history is stranger than fiction and sometimes downright ridiculous. Or is it AI? I don't know. Anyhow, today we're counting down 10 historical events that sound so fake you'd swear they came out of a failed movie script. So buckle up, grab your monocles, and let's climb the ladder. Number 10, the Dancing Plague of 1518. So the year is 1518. The location, Strasbourg, France, where for some strange reason, people literally danced until they dropped. Yeah, like dead. Sources claim anywhere from a few dozen to hundreds of deaths, and the cause is unknown. But theories include food poisoning, mass hysteria, and even fungi. Campbell's mushroom soup, maybe? Okay, probably not. Anyways, the dancing continued for weeks and only ended when the church intervened and ordered dancers to seek absolution. Wonder if they made them increase their tithing. Probably. Number 9, the Defenestration of Prague. No, I didn't stutter. I said defenestration. What in the Sam hell is that? Well, that means throwing people out of windows. In 1618, some very frustrated protesters decided that throwing government officials out of windows was the perfect way to solve their problems. It seems that many were thrown out of the Prague castle some 68 feet to the ground. Surprisingly, there were survivors. You know, nothing says diplomacy like good old gravity-assisted exits. Number 8, the Cadaver Synod. In 897, Rome, Italy, Pope Formosus was posthumously put on trial. Yes, they put a dead guy on trial. His corpse was literally exhumed, dressed up, and forced to face charges. The good news is that his legal fees were low. The bad news, he was found guilty and had his popeship. Is that a word? Popeship. Tanner, ever hear of popeship?
No, that's not real.
Well, I like it anyway. So, they declared his popeship null and void. The better news, no punishment. Imagine being in that jury pool. Number 7, the Great Emu War. The Great Emu War of 1932, when Australia's military battled emus, yes, actual birds, and lost spectacularly. Apparently, flocks of up to 20,000 unwanted pesky emus were invading the farms and destroying crops. So farmers, many veterans, sought military intervention. This was granted but failed so badly that it was quickly called off. The emus were faster and more evasive than the military could handle. They basically just ran away. So after a short stint and very few dead birds to show for it, the action was canceled. It's hard to keep a big bird down, I guess. The war was replaced with a bounty system that proved much more effective. Number 6, a war lasted 335 years without a single shot. All right, folks, prepare for the laziest war in history. No, that's not an exaggeration. 335 years. This epic standoff between the Netherlands and the Isles of Scilly lasted from 1651 to 1986. And the best part, not a single shot was fired. It was basically the world's longest steering contest, with both sides eventually forgetting what they were even mad about in the first place. Ironically, it seems that both sides claimed victory, and maybe they were both right. Number 5, the London Beer Flood. The London Beer Flood of 1814. A giant beer vat burst with approximately 250,000 gallons of London's finest, which unleashed a tsunami of barley and hops on London streets. Imagine stumbling into an unexpected pub crawl where you need a surfboard. 8 poor souls perished and many were injured in the incident. The Horseshoe Brewery owned the vat, which on a side note, doesn't sound very appetizing. On the positive side of things, rumor has it that this was the happiest day in London history.
Dad.
Yeah?
The 5 kegs came.
The 5 we mean 5 kegs.
Yeah, to recreate the London beer flood.
The London, no, we are not recreating the London beer flood, no.
Oh, come on, it'll be epic.
Listen, no, send them back.
Fine, you're no fun.
I guess not. Number 4, Napoleon's rabbit attack. The year 1807. Napoleon has just signed an end-of-war treaty with Russia and thought a nice rabbit hunt would be a great celebration. So his flunkies set about collecting hundreds of rabbits and set them free on the estate of his chief of staff, Alexander Berthier. However, instead of scurrying off and hiding his plan so they could, hunt them, they actually charged toward the hunters, perhaps seeking carrot treats? Who knows? But there were so many that it forced the hunters to retreat for the day. And so was born the Energizer Bunny logo. Or so the story goes. Number 3, Centralia mine fire. All right, here's one you can verify for yourself, and it's a real scorcher, literally. We're talking about Centralia, Pennsylvania, where a coal mine fire started in 1962 and is still burning today. Evidently, a botched landfill cleanup effort resulted in igniting an exposed coal vein, and they could never get it out. It was so bad that they had to abandon the whole town. It's still empty today as the 60-plus year fire rages on. I wonder who the fire chief was, and is he still on the case? Wow, talk about job security. Number 2, the Great Molasses Flood. So you thought the beer flood was bad? Get a load of this one. The year is 1919. The place, Boston, Massachusetts, when a storage tank burst and sent 2.1 million gallons of sticky molasses through Boston's main streets. The torrent was estimated to reach 35 miles an hour. Puts a little bit of doubt in that old saying, slow as molasses, right? The storage tank was evidently poorly constructed and more than likely failed due to fermentation gas pressure. There was nothing sweet about this tragedy as it killed 21 and injured over 150 Boston residents. Number 1, the Battle of Karansebes. The Battle of Karansebes, in one of history's most epic cases of, oops, my bad, an entire army ended up fighting itself due to confusion and too much alcohol. That's never happened before, right? Schnapps, to be precise. Apparently an army of 100,000 was setting up camp and sent out a regiment to scout. They, not finding the enemy, bought schnapps from some Romanians they found. They got drunk. Alcohols and weapons. What could go wrong? Apparently a lot, as there were somewhere between 1,000 and 10,000 dead or injured as they battled amongst themselves, the scouts and the regiment. Didn't the same colored uniforms tip them off? So there you have it, 10 historical events that sound too ridiculous to be real. But trust me, they happened. Okay, I wasn't there, but I read it on Google, so it has to be true, right? If you enjoyed this trip through history's most absurd moments, smash that like button, subscribe if you think we earned it, and if we missed one, drop it in the comments. See you next week, and keep climbing. And in the morning, I'm making waffles.